Hey, it's Chris here, and if you're bored about your regular energy system training and you're looking for a new, more fun way to do your cardio training, stay tuned and I'll show you all about how to do gym tempos. One of the conditioning drills we really like to use with our athletes has been running tempos at the field. And the way tempos would work is that if we had a sports field and you think of it as being the sidelines and the goal lines, what you would do is you would get out to that field and you would walk one of the goal lines from one side to the other. And then when you turn the corner, now you would jog all the way along this sideline, and you turn the corner and now you would run the other goal line. And then finally you'd finish it with a full sprint the length of the opposite sideline. And they worked well because it worked in some active recovery and kept the athlete going. We got them outdoors, they were getting some vitamin D. You could run multiple athletes at the same time and get a little bit of a competition going. And the other thing I liked about it is that when we did the sprints, they were already into motion, they were already running, so they were kind of like doing, like you hear about now, it's popular to do flying 20s and these type of things rather than a static start sprint. And so we were able to allow them to have a build-up and then a bit of a run through. They didn't have to decelerate and stop on the end. So it minimized some injuries for us as well. But you know, we're here in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, and today it's snowing and we've got snow and ice on the ground. And so we don't want to think that we're just going to not do any conditioning until the spring and then come into the new season behind the eight ball or have the athletes not be ready to go. So we came up with some gym tempos, and this is taking the same kind of concept and model of doing these out on the field, but now we apply them to something that can be done inside the gym. The way that works, if we are using a rowing machine, a treadmill, a bike, or just even running if we have space to run some shuttles back and forth, the first interval would be 60 seconds done at an easy pace. So if that was somebody that's running, you do 60 seconds where you're walking. Then you'd go 30 seconds at a medium pace, and that would be equivalent to the jog. You're gonna go 15 seconds where you run, and then 15 seconds where you're gonna sprint or you're gonna go all out. And these, they correlate quite closely, these intervals, to doing them actually on a field, because if this was a 100-yard field or give or take, most athletes are going to be able to sprint that in about 15 seconds, and then they get adequate rest on that next walk and then gradually build up into the next. And so you can try these on any of those types of modalities. On a rower, you'll start to pay attention to what intervals you can hit each speed at. So when you're doing your easy 60-second segment on the row, maybe you're at 2 minutes 45 for a 500-meter pace. And when you pick up to the 30-second at medium, maybe you drop down to a 2:15 pace. When you go to your 15 seconds hard, you go just under 2 minutes, or maybe you're in that 155 or 150 zone. And then on your sprint, you're trying to see how low can you get the number for your 500-meter pace. And then your goal on each subsequent interval is to say, can you hit your top gear each time? And so starting out, you might not know how many intervals can I plan for. You can base that on time. If you have 10 minutes, each round is going to take you 2 minutes to complete one. So if I have 10 minutes to do some conditioning, I'm going to do 5 rounds. But if you have more time than that and you want to keep going and you want to know when should I call it, when you start seeing that your sprint time starts to fall off and you're not able to hit that same high intensity, that's when you might bookend it with another 2-3 minutes of easy at the end to wrap it up. When we're looking at these, there's 3 ways to measure them. We want to see, what is that top gear? What was the fastest speed you were able to achieve on your sprint? So if it's on the rower, can you get into the 120s or the 1-teens for your 500-meter pace? We want to know, if we set the rower for 10 minutes total time, what's the total distance that you can get at the end of that? So if you're hitting more total distance, it's indicative that your fitness is improving and you're able to recover more quickly and the pace is a little better here. And then lastly, if you go from doing 5 2-minute intervals and 10 minutes of work and you increase that to 12, you can now start tracking and measuring your total volume as well. So give this a chance or a try in your next workouts. Look to improve some gym tempos and let me know how that goes for you.